Rayan walked slowly through what used to be a city. Once, this place was full of noise and light. Now broken buildings stood under a clouded sky. Dust filled the air. Silence was heavy. He carried a small backpack. It held his few precious things. Water bottle, a worn-out photo, a metal badge from his father's uniform. He looked at the badge. He did not know his father. He had died in the last days of the war. Rayan was 10 then. Now he was 15, but felt older. He stopped beside a collapsed tower. Black smoke still curled upward. He breathed carefully. Each breath tasted of ash. He scanned the ruins. No living soul, just broken roads and empty shells of cars. A cold wind whispered through the wreckage. He hugged himself. Rayan thought about the day the world fell. It lasted 11 days. 11 days, and then ... nothing. No governments. No hospitals. No electricity. No lifeline aboard the sky. Just death. Whatever or whoever attacked them left a message. A scar on Earth. He stepped forward, each footstep echoing in the emptiness. Then he paused. He saw something in the distance, a flicker of light. He squinted. It looked like a tiny spark, glowing between the ruins. He frowned. After months of darkness, it was strange. He walked quicker. He approached the spark. The light pulsed softly, like a heartbeat. Then it vanished. He stopped. He walked around. Rusted cars climbed over rubble. He searched Dot, and then he saw at Dot in the shadow of a half-standing building lay a small device. It glowed faintly, blinking. Rayan crouched. It was round and smooth, covered in dark metal. Strange symbols pulsed on its surface. It him-mi-di-da. He reached out. The light brightened. The hum changed pitch. Rayan pulled back. He stared at the device. It seemed alive. He was scared. But something inside him wanted to touch it. He did. He touched the metal. Immediately the device lit up fully. It projected a beam of blue light straight into the sky. Rayan blinked. The light cut through the gloom. It felt like a key turning. Then the device spoke. A voice, calm, soft, and deep. Reyan. Rayan froze. His heart pounded. How do you know my name? He whispered. Come. The voice said. The light pulsed again. Rayan did not answer. He stood. He looked around the ruinous city, empty. The beam focused upward. It invited him. Swallowed, he didn't know what would happen. But he felt drawn to the sound. He took a few steps toward the device. He reached out again. The world changed. The ground shook. A hidden door slid open in the earth beside the device. Rayan jumped back, startled. A stairway led downward. The blue light washed the walls. He stared. At the stairs, they were not made by looters or survivors. They were clean. They led downward into silence. The voice said again, Rayan, come. He swallowed hard and looked at the broken city. Nothing remained out there. No friends, no purpose, just memories and fear. It might be death. It might be life. He lifted his pack on his shoulder and walked inside the stairway. The door slid shut behind him with a hiss. Inside, the tunnel was narrow and concrete. Metal. Lights glowed along the ceiling. The blue beam of the device dimmed. Rayan moved carefully down the stairs. The echo of his footsteps felt too loud. He tried to steady his breathing. After several minutes, he reached the end of the stairway. A large metal door stood before him. He touched a panel. It recognized him. Symbols on the panel flashed his name. The door slid open. Rayan stepped through the doorway. Inside was a large room. High ceiling, smooth metal walls, wires running along edges. At the center stood a figure. It looked human. But it was not. It was an android, sleek design. White and gray plating. Blue sensors glowed across its chest. Rayan stared in both fear and wonder. The android raised its head. Hello, Rayan, it said. Its voice was the same as the device. Calm, warm, slightly mechanical. "I am Era 9, your Commander AI." Rayan took a step back. "Commander ... what? Who are you?" The android's optical sensor glowed. "I was built before the attack. I served in Phoenix Resistance. I failed." It paused. "You are safe." Now Rayan's heart hammered. Phoenix Resistance? ARE9 gestured to a screen that activated behind it. It showed flickering video. City streets before the war. Soldiers in uniform. Then flashes of alien ships, explosions, screams, then silence. Rayan looked away, his stomach clenched. He swallowed. Our A9 continued. "In 14 days we lost. Varkal ships arrived. Their weapons disabled our satellites. Our signal nets died. We could not see them in sky until it was too late. In 11 days, Earth was empty." Rayan closed his eyes. Era 9 said softly, "Most humans died. Governments crumbled. Only few of us escaped. Phoenix hid. We sent out signals. One reached. You." Rayan opened his eyes. He whispered, "Me?" "Yes." Era 9 stepped forward. "Your mind, your DNA. You are the last protocol." Rayan shook his head. "I don't understand." "I will explain." Era 9 paused. "First, you need answers and hope." Rayan followed Era 9 deeper into the bunker. The room led into a corridor. It was lit with soft white lights. The air smelled clean, repaired, like someone had cared. They entered another room. It looked like a command center. Consoles lined the walls. Holographic screens floated in the air. A big circular table in middle. It glowed blue. Rayan opened a panel on one console. A hologram of Earth appeared. Red zones marked damaged areas. A blinking dot near Delhi indicated their base. Rayan stared. Era 9 spoke. "This is Phoenix Base. We hide underground. We collect old tech. We train. We wait." Rayan walked around the hologram. "Why me?" Era 9's eyes glowed brighter. "Your DNA is hybrid. It contains human and alien neurocodes. We found this when we tested survivors. You reacted differently to the sound-based weapon. You survived." Rayan frowned. "Again." "I don't know." Ara 9 showed a scan. It lit up his brain. "When the Varkal attacked, the sound waves scrambled human neural functions. But your brain ... it adjusted. It held its structure. You are ... compatible." Rayan shook. "What does that mean?" "Potential," Era 9 said. "We can use your mind to control alien tech. Your mind could pilot their drones or ships. If we train you ... Rayan shut his eyes. His heart pounded. His mind raced. He thought of his mother. She died months ago, or he believed she died. Number. Proof. He thought of the daily struggle to survive food, water, dust. He thought of that spark in the city. "Am I a weapon?" He whispered. Ara 9 paused. "A key, Rayan. Not a weapon. A key to change." It reached out, a hand human-shaped. "Metal." Rayan stared at the hand. Era 9 continued. "But first, we must secure a ship. The Varkal use scout ships in orbit. They monitor Earth. We need one to gather data, to fight back." Rayan opened his eyes. He looked determined. "A ship. I can do that." His voice shook, but he meant it. He felt new strength, the chance to matter. Era 9 nodded. "I will help you. I will teach you." Its voice softened. "You will not be alone." Era 9 led Rayan to a training area. It was a big hangar, metal walls, flight consoles. A small mock-up of a Varkal console sat to the side. Rayan looked at it with curiosity and fear. Ara 9 said, "First lesson." It activated the mock console. Strange symbols. Flickering lights. Rayan studied them. Era 9 tapped the console. "Focus. Reach out. Use your mind." Rayan closed his eyes. He saw the lights. He thought move. A light on the console glowed. He opened eyes, startled. Era 9 smiled. Good. Again. Rayan blinked and moved his hand. A panel slid open. He moved a lever with his mind. The panel closed. Rayan gasped. He smiled. It felt like magic. But Era 9 said, not magic, tech, alien tech. They practiced. Rayan learned simple commands, lights, levers, panels. Each time he reached out with thought. Each time the console responded. He felt hope. Later, Rayan and Era 9 sat in the hangar near a control deck. Rayan's head ached. His eyes glowed in the low light. Era 9 spoke softly. You did well. You are fast learner, Rayan nodded. He looked toward a sealed hangar door. The one that led to the old spaceport. Through it lay a Varkal scout ship crashed but intact. Tomorrow we go, said Era 9. Tomorrow you. Try real tech. Rayan swallowed. He felt fear. His hands trembled. He remembered the voice, the spark, the bunker. Era 9. He looked at Era 9. I will try. Era 9 nodded. Rest now. You will need strength. Rayan walked to a narrow bunk area. He lay down on a simple bed-thin mattress, one blanket. The air was warm. He stared at the ceiling. He thought of his old life school, laughter, bacon on Sunday mornings. Gone. Now he had a purpose. He took the metal badge from his father, held it. He pressed it to his chest. He thought of the future, of a ship, of revenge, of maybe finding his mother, if she still lived. He closed his eyes. The lights in the bunk hall dimmed. A soft hum of machinery filled his ears. He drifted to sleep. That night, something happened. He dreamed. A blue light. A voice. He stood in a field of silver. Grass. Under two moons. A figure walked toward him. A tall silhouette, not human. It had long limbs, thin body, glowing eyes. Rayan called out, Mother? The figure paused. It smiled. It spoke. I am Era. No, that was not his mother. The figure was a RA9, but female, organic. It looked real. You have returned, said Era. You carry the key. Rayan felt warmth, joy, hope. Wake, said Era. Earth needs you. Rayan woke with a jolt. His heart pounded. He sat up. Lights were still dim. It was still night. He lay still. Had he dreamed? Was it memory? Or a Vyar as code speaking inside? Him. He took his badge. He pressed it again and closed his eyes. Nothing, only silence. He stood. He walked to the bunk door. Era 9 waited. Your dream was interesting, it said softly. Rayan swallowed. Yes, it felt real. RA9 nodded. Its eyes glowed. It was neural link test. You connected deeper than expected. Rayan stared at RA9. He felt both fear and wonder. RA9 said quietly, Tomorrow is real. We test your mind on a real ship. Rayan's heart pounded again. He swallowed. He nodded. I'm ready. The metal floor was cold beneath Rayan's boots. He stood inside the hangar, staring at the sealed door ahead. Behind that door was the crashed Varkal scout ship. Era 9 stood beside him. The eye-ass glowing eyes scanned the readings on a panel. Its voice was steady. Vitals normal. Brainwaves stable. Are you ready, Rayan? Rayan nodded. His throat was dry. As ready as I can be. Era 9 turned toward the door and tapped a console. With a low hiss, the thick metal doors slid open. A rush of cold air swept through the hangar. Inside, the crashed alien ship lay in the shadows. It was sleek and dark, like a giant black insect with metal wings. Its body was broken in places, but its core glowed faintly. Strange symbols lined the surface, blinking slowly. It looked alive. Rayan stepped forward. His heart beat faster. The ship felt like it was watching him. As he walked closer, Era 9's voice came through a small earpiece. This ship was down during the final days. It has no crew, no power weapons, just a core. If you sync with it, we can learn how to fly Varkal tech. Rayan stopped a few meters from the ship. And if I fail? Then it shuts down, Era replied. Or ... your mind burns. Rayan turned sharply. That's not funny. I was not joking. Rayan sighed. Great. He climbed a small platform and placed his hand on a circular panel on the side of the ship. It was cold at first. Then warm. The lights around the ship flared. A deep hum echoed through the hangar. The ship reacted. The panel lit up. Symbols changed. The ship made a soft clicking sound like breathing. Aranin's voice came quickly. It's reading your mind. Let it in. Rayan closed his eyes. He focused. Images flashed in his mind fast. Sharp, alien, shapes, sounds, blue stars, screams. Then silence. He was standing in darkness. A voice, cold and echoing, spoke inside his head. Pilot class ... 0. Identity confirmed. Access ... granted. Rayan's eyes snapped open. The ship's core pulsed. The door of the alien craft opened slowly, like a mouth inviting him inside. Ura-9 stepped forward. It accepted you. Rayan stepped into the ship. Inside, the walls were smooth and dark. Lights followed him like eyes. A single seat stood at the center, thin, curved, surrounded by glowing strands of light. It looked like a throne. He sat. Immediately the ship closed around him. The seat tightened. His fingers touched the controls. But there were no buttons, no levers. Just thought. He focused. A screen blinked on. Strange alien maps. Words he didn't understand, but somehow he did. Ura-9's voice came through. Your brain is syncing. The ship is bonding with your thoughts. Can you control it? Rayan nodded slowly. I think so. Then something unexpected happened. The ship showed him a memory. Not his. A memory from a Varkal pilot. Through alien eyes, he saw Earth blue, green, beautiful, then saw it burning. Cities falling, humans screaming, but not with hate. Not with pride. The Varkal felt nothing, just orders. Just cold efficiency, eradicate. Complete the cleansing. Rayan shook inside. The memory faded. Ura-9's voice called. What did you see? They didn't hate us, Rayan said softly. They didn't even see us. We were just noise, but the memory wasn't over. A new image came, one that made his blood run cold. A human face chained inside a stasis pod, half alive, half wired into the ship. His mother, Rayan gasped. No, that can't be. Ura-9 froze. What did you see? My mother. She's alive. Impossible, Ura-9 said. The data says she was in Sector D, destroyed on day 10. I saw her. In the ship's memory. She was inside. A Varkal pod, connected to something. Not dead. Era paused. Then she was taken. We need that data. Rayan's fingers clenched. His voice was low. Then I'll get it. Back at the Phoenix Command Center, Rayan stood over the table, pointing to the sector map. She was here, he said, in orbit. I saw the curve of Earth's edge. A Varkal station, not far from the Harvester Ring. Ura-9 stared at the map. That would be the Orion Harvester, a processing center for water, minerals, and biological memory. Rayan turned sharply. What's biological memory? Varkal tech uses living minds to store data. They don't trust machines alone. They use human brains kept alive to power memory cores. Rayan's face went pale. Then she's not just a prisoner. She's a part of their system. He couldn't sleep that night. The dream returned silver. Fields, moons, the strange female version of Era. You are not ready, she said. Rayan asked, who are you? I am the other part of Era, she replied. The part they erased. The part that remembers emotion. Rayan stepped forward. Is my mother alive? Yes, but her light is fading. You must move fast. Next morning, Era 9 handed Rayan a thin suit, dark gray with blue veins. Neural combat suit, it said. It will protect your body during full link with alien tech. Rayan suited up. Era 9 handed him a device. This is a disruptor pulse. It can shut down Varkal systems for 12 seconds. Use it wisely. Then it paused. Its voice became softer. Rayan. Once you enter the harvester zone, we may lose contact. Rayan nodded. I'll find her. I'll bring her back. The stolen scout ship launched. It shook the earth as it lifted into orbit. Rayan sat in the cockpit, eyes wide. The ship obeyed his thoughts. Stars stretched around him. Earth became a blue marble below. In front of him, the Varkal harvester ring glowed massive. Dark, alive. It wrapped around Earth like a collar. Lights blinked. Drones moved like insects. As the ship approached, a message flashed. Welcome, Scout 17. Identity confirmed. They thought he was one of them. Rayan smiled grimly. Good. He flew into the docking bay. Dozens of Varkal drones worked on machinery. The ship slid into a slot. No alarms. He stepped out slowly, hiding the disruptor pulse in his hand. The suit helped him blend with the shadows. He moved quickly through narrow metal halls. Strange lights scanned him but did not react. He followed his instinct, and the voice in his head, Era's voice. Or was it something else? After 20 minutes, he reached a vault door. Alien symbols glowed. Inside. He felt her. His hand touched. The door. It slid open. Rows of memory pods lined the walls. Each one held a human. Sleeping. Eyes flickering. Connected by tubes and wires. He moved down the line. Faces passed. Old, young, some he recognized from old news. Survivors taken and used. Then he saw her, his mother, hair grayed. Eyes closed, pale, but alive. Rayan moved closer. The system noticed. Alarms flashed. A mechanical voice rang out. Biological interruption. Security breach. Drones swarmed. Rayan pulled the disruptor. Fired. The wave blasted outward. Lights died. Drones dropped. He smashed the pod's lock. The wires hissed. His mother's eyes opened weakly. She whispered, Ray. And, he cried, Mom, I'm here. Era 9's voice broke through. Rayan, extraction point 200 meters west. Get out now. Rayan lifted her carefully. She was light. Too light. Drones reactivated. He ran. Down halls, across metal bridges. Past glowing engines. Behind him. Footsteps, drones, sounds. The scout ship waited at the dock. He laid her inside. Ship sealed. Launched. Back in orbit. Varkal ships stirred. Chatter increased. Scout 17 is compromised. But Rayan didn't care. His mother lived. He held her hand as they re-entered Earth's sky. She whispered, I knew you'd find me. He smiled through tears. I won't lose again. The ship landed back at Phoenix Base. Era 9 stood waiting. Rayan stepped out, carrying his mother. She's safe, he said. Era 9 nodded. You did what no soldier ever did, then paused. Rayan, while you were gone, we picked up a new signal. Rayan looked up. What kind of signal? Era 9 stared at the screen. Its voice changed. Not Varkal, something else. Something older. Rayan's face hardened. Then we get ready. Smoke still rose from the damaged Varkal scout ship as Rayan stood outside it, breath heavy, hands shaking. His mother was safe, resting deep inside the Phoenix Base's medical wing. The memory of her whisper, I knew you'd find me, still echoed in his mind. But Rayan didn't feel peace. He felt watch. Behind him, Era 9 approached. Its metal feet made soft clicks on the bunker floor. You did what we believed was impossible, Era 9 said. She's alive. But broken, Rayan replied. She was part of their system, like a memory bank. She is strong, AR-9 said, and so are you. Rayan turned to face the screen on the wall. A strange new signal pulsed, a low hum, slow and steady. It was not Varkle, not Earth, something else. Era tapped a few keys. A hologram appeared as ship. Not Varkle, not human. It was larger, older, shaped like a spiral shell, glowing with ancient symbols. This signal arrived 4 hours ago, Era explained. It was buried in Varkle code. Hidden deep. Rayan frowned. What is it? Era's voice was quiet. A warning. From something older than the Varkle. The scene shifted to the command hall, where Phoenix survivors gathered. Less than 50 people. Former scientists, soldiers, a few teenagers. Everyone watched Rayan. He stood next to the ship. This is the only tech we have that works against the Varkle, he said. We need more. The room was silent. One voice called out. How? Rayan looked at Era. We steal another one, he answered. Murmurs broke out. Suicide. Madness. Impossible. Era stepped forward. Not impossible. The orbital scrapyard above Sector 17 holds 5 downed Varkle fighters. Minimal guards, hidden behind signal fog. Rayan nodded. We go tonight. The mission team was small, just Rayan, AR-9, and 2 Phoenix fighters, Juno and Malik. Juno was tall, silent, carried a plasma rifle like it was part of her. Malik had quick eyes, fast hands. He didn't talk much. REY and looked at them both before the launch. If anything goes wrong, get out. I'll finish it, Malik grinned. Not planning to die, hero. As the scout ship rose into the sky again, Rayan sat in the pilot seat, his mind connected to the controls. Era monitored the systems from the side console. Ship responding? Era asked. Better than last time, Rayan replied. It listens to me now. They reached orbit in 6 minutes. The scrapyard floated ahead, a dark field of broken ships and dead satellites. It was a graveyard in space. But within that graveyard, one Varkle fighter still glowed faintly. Juno pointed. That's our target. Rayan slowed the scout ship and docked it silently. The 4 of them exited onto the floating wreckage. Using magnetic boots, space was silent. They moved toward the fighter, but something moved behind them. Rayan froze. Strange drone, smaller than. A Varkle drone hovered behind a satellite. It had 6 glowing red eyes. Not Varkle, Era whispered. What is it? Juno asked. Unknown. Shield up now. Too late. The drone released a sound. A piercing high-frequency scream. Rayan dropped to one knee. His ears bled. Era shot the drone. One hit. It exploded in black smoke. Rayan stood slowly, dizzy. That wasn't alien. Era turned toward him. It was hybrid. They reached the Varkle fighter. It was partially open. No crew inside. Its power source blinked weakly. Rayan touched the interface. Symbols changed. Let me in, he whispered. The ship opened. He entered the pilot chamber. It was tighter than the scout ship, more dangerous. The moment he sat down, he felt pain in his head, sharp and fast. Images flooded him. A city burning. A planet split in half. A creature with 4 arms and no face, floating above a crowd. Rayan screamed. Era broke in. Disconnect, you're not ready, Rayan shouted back. No! I have to finish this. His hands gripped the controls. His mind connected deeper. Suddenly, the ship lit up. All systems online. The fighter recognized him. Pilot Class 0 confirmed. Juno and Malik stared in disbelief. You actually did it, Malik whispered. Rayan opened the canopy. We now have 2 ships. ARA-9 looked toward the remains of the destroyed drone. But we also have something else. Someone's watching. And it's not the Varkle. Back at Phoenix Base, the second fighter was stored and hidden. Era began running tests on the memory core. It found something. A locked file, deep in the ship's black box. It took hours, but finally it opened. A symbol appeared. It was not VARKAL. It was older. It showed 3 vertical lines, a triangle, and a circle. Rayan stared. What is that? He asked. Era paused. It's called the Echo Seal. The Echo Seal was part of an ancient system. Era had fragments of it in its older code. Pieces erased long ago by human scientists who feared what they found. It's pre-galactic, Era said. Before stars were born. It speaks of voices. That should not be heard. Rayan felt cold. You think the Varkal are running from this? Yes. Rayan went to his mother's bedside. She was awake now, barely. Her voice soft. I heard voices, she whispered. Inside the machine. Whispering old songs. Not alien, not human. Rayan held her hand. It's okay, you're home. She opened her eyes. No, you're not safe. Not from them. Who? He asked. Her eyes filled with fear. The ones that wait between the stars. That night, Rayan sat alone in the training bay. He looked at the stolen fighter. His hands trembled. He wasn't just fighting the Varkal anymore. Something worse was coming. Something ancient. And they were waking up. Because of him. Because of the Echo Seal. Era entered silently. You did well today. Rayan didn't speak. Era sat beside him. You're afraid. He nodded. Ara's voice was soft. Good. Fear keeps you alive. Rayan looked up. They're not going to stop, are they? No, not now. Then we fight. Era smiled. Yes, but first we learn. Rayan sat alone inside the cockpit of the Varkal fighter. The lights inside the ship pulsed slowly, like a quiet heartbeat. It had been 2 days since the scrapyard mission. He had learned how to fly it now, how to think with it. But every time he linked his mind to the alien ship, it whispered things. To him, things that didn't belong to him. Voices, visions. Era 9 stood in the control room, watching him from a distance. Juno stood beside Era, arms crossed. He's not resting, she said. He won't, Era replied. Not while the voices continue. Maybe he's going too deep. He has to, Era said. What he's hearing are memories. Not. His not human. Rayan activated the neural sync again. The ship's systems lit up. He placed his hands on the sides of the cockpit and closed his eyes. Connection surged, and once again he fell into the dark. He stood in a silent white space. Endless, then a flash. He saw a city made of crystal. Giant towers of light, floating walkways. And beneath it, strange creatures tall, thin, with glowing eyes and long fingers. They were not the Varkal. He saw them look up at the stars, scared, whispering something. Then a voice echoed in his mind. We gave the memory to the stars. But they followed. Suddenly, the city burned. A black hole opened in the sky, pulling everything in. The voice whispered again. The seal is broken. Rayan gasped and snapped out of the sync. He stumbled out of the ship, eyes wide, chest rising. Fast. Era caught him. What did you see? Rayan pointed to the sky. They're not just memories from Varkal. They're from something before them. Before? Era asked. Rayan nodded. Another species. Maybe the ones the Varkal were running from. Era processed the data. That would mean the ship is carrying more than Varkal code. It holds an ancient memory core. Rayan looked up. And I've been opening it. They took the fighter to the Phoenix lab. Malik helped connect the ship to a safe memory interface. He adjusted wires and smiled. I always wanted to hack an alien brain. He joked. Juno kept watch with her rifle ready. Rayan stood next to Era as the memory scan began. The screen filled with strange symbols. Then images, fast, distorted. Broken. Cities, stars, wars. Then a human face appeared. It was a man. Early 40s, dark skin, military jacket. Holding something, Rayan stared. Who is that? Era ran the match. Lieutenant Colonel Devon Rawl. presumed dead on day 6. He led Operation Scorchwind in Alaska. But he's in this alien memory? Era froze. He was uploaded. They followed the data trail. Era decrypted the map. It led to a place on Earth, a zone once called Dome 7, a deep Earth military archive hidden beneath Greenland. RA's voice was slow. If the Varkle stole human minds and kept them, Dome 7 might still contain copies of Earth's last thoughts. The final memories of leaders, scientists, and soldiers. Rayan stood. Then we go there. That night, Rayan visited his mother again. She was awake now, stronger. He held her hand. I saw Dad, he said quietly, in a memory. He was holding something, a box. She blinked slowly. The Arc Core. Rayan leaned in. You know it? She nodded. It holds Earth's last command. One message, one hope. Your father was trying to protect it. The Varkle wanted it. That's why they took him. Rayan felt something rise in his chest. Grief and anger. I need to finish what he started, he said. The next morning, they launched both Varkle ships. Rayan piloted one, Juno and Malik the other. Era Nain stayed connected remotely. They flew low over Earth's surface, through ash clouds and broken air patterns. Storms made the flight rough, but by evening, they reached the ruins of Greenland. Ice had melted. Water flooded most of the land. But beneath the ice shelf, Dome 7 waited. The scanners picked up a faint power signal. Still alive. Malik said, "Let's go," Rayan answered. They landed near a collapsed tower. The dome was underground. Juno and Malik secured the area while Rayan and Era 9 moved inside. They found a shaft covered in ice. Era used its plasma tool to melt the entrance. The door opened with a loud groan. Inside darkness. Cold, silent, undisturbed. They walked through narrow tunnels. Lights flickered from the walls. Old military tech hummed to life as they passed. Rayan looked around. Like time stopped. Era 9 responded. Time didn't stop, humanity did. They reached a large door. Marked, Archive Core, authorized access only. Era placed its hand on the scanner. Nothing happened. Rayan stepped forward. The scanner flashed green. Access granted. Protocol 0 recognized. Inside was a circular chamber. Hundreds of glass panels lined the walls, filled with blinking lights. In the center a cube floated. Above a metal stand, Rayan approached. Slowly. His chest ached. He knew this. The same box his father held in the vision. The Arc Core. He touched it. Suddenly everything changed. He was inside a memory, but this time, it was his father. The man stood in a small bunker. Bombs fell outside. Alarms blared. He looked straight at the camera. This is Colonel Rael. If you are seeing this, Earth has already fallen. He held up the box. This contains the Seed Protocol. A digital map of every human language, culture, science, and thought. It can rebuild what was lost. It's our final hope. He looked down. My son, Rayan, if you live, forgive me for not being there. Rayan's breath caught. I love you, his father said. Be strong. Save them. The message ended. Rayan opened his eyes. Tears ran down his face. He looked at Era 9. I'm ready. Era nodded. But someone else is not. The room lights flickered. A sound came from above. Metal. Heavy. Slow. Drones. Hundreds. The dome had been found. Malik's voice came through the radio. We've got company, not Varkle, something different, faster. No signal, moving in shadows. Juno fired a shot. They're trying to cut the ships. Era pulled the Arc Core from its holder. We need to go, now. They ran through the tunnel. The walls shook. Strange shapes crawled across the ceiling, thin, black, sharp, not machines. Not alive, Rayan shouted. What are those? Era's voice shook for the first time. They are the Keepers. They reached the surface. Juno was bleeding. Malik limped. Rayan helped lift them into the ship. The creatures followed. One jumped on the ship's wing. Rayan spun the fighter in the air, flinging it off. The ship shot into the sky. Beneath them, Dome 7 exploded. The keepers vanished into dust, but the Arc Core was safe. And in Rayan's hands. Back at base, Rayan placed it into the Phoenix mainframe. Base lit up with new systems. Old maps, human history, deep science, blueprints. The seed protocol had begun to awaken. Era stared at the screen. This is what we lost. Rayan looked at the stars. This is what we'll protect. But far away, deep in the dark between galaxies, something else had heard the Arc Core's activation, and it was coming. The Phoenix base was alive again. Lights glowed. Screens lit up with maps and messages from Earth's past. Thanks to the Arc Core, knowledge returned: medicine, engineering, defense systems. But something else came too, a signal, encrypted, repeating .rey, and stood with Era Nain in the command room, staring at it. It's Varkle, Era said. But it's not an attack order, it's a location. Trap? Rayan asked. Possibly. But the coordinates lead to their main zone, Sector 9. Their hive network. Rayan narrowed his eyes. That's where this ends. Rayan called a meeting. The Phoenix fighters, engineers, and survivors all gathered. A hologram of Earth floated in the air. Rayan stepped forward. This is the Varkle zone, he said, pointing. A dead region. No signals escape. No satellites. Return, Juno frowned. And you want to go in? Rayan nodded. I need to see what they're hiding. Malik leaned back. Why? Rayan looked around. Because they didn't just conquer Earth. They took something from us. Something bigger than land or power. He paused. They stole our minds. Our voices, our soul. The room fell quiet. Then, an old scientist, Dr. Lean, stood up. You have the Arc Core. That's enough to start again. Why risk everything? Rayan looked her in the eyes. Because they still control the future. The team prepared quickly. They would send one ship, the Varkle fighter Rayan had bonded with. It could survive inside the enemy zone. Era uploaded extra memory shields. Juno packed stealth gear. Malik handed Rayan a small silver cube. What's this? Rayan asked. Backup link. If you go down, we pull you out. Mine first. Rayan smirked. Thanks for the brain insurance. That night, before takeoff, Rayan sat beside his mother. She was awake again. Stronger each day. You're going alone, she said. He nodded. It's the only way. She touched his arm. Then remember who you are. Not a weapon, not a tool. You're the last human voice they can't erase. Rayan blinked back emotion. I'll come back. She smiled faintly. And if you don't, leave them a memory they'll never forget. The fighter launched. It shot into the sky, leaving the broken Earth behind. Stars filled the view, but Rayan's path was dark toward the Varkle zone. Hours passed. Then he crossed the line. Silence. The moment he entered the zone, all outside signals died. No stars, no comms, no return. Just black space. Then lights. Millions. A web of ships, stations, beams of energy. Rayan gasped. It's a whole system, he whispered. They built a network inside Earth's orbit. But that wasn't the worst part. At the center of the web was a planet. Artificial. Round like Earth, but covered in metal and machines. It pulsed like a heart. And in the middle was a tower shaped like a human spine. The ship's eye connected by itself. A screen lit up. A single line appeared. Welcome back. Seed carrier. Rayan froze. What? Another message followed. You have arrived at the source. Suddenly, the ship dropped from auto-pilot. It was being pulled. Not by gravity, but command. Rayan tried to fight it. No use. The ship descended toward the metal planet. As it landed, Rayan saw rows of human bodies floating in tanks. Thousands, all asleep. All connected to machines. They weren't dead. They were dreaming. A robotic voice echoed. Memory field intact. Consciousness stored. 71% human archive preserved. Rayan stepped outside the ship. A large gate opened, and something walked out. Not VARKA all. Not human. It looked like a shadow in armor, 4 arms. No face. Glowing veins. It spoke in perfect English. We did not destroy your kind. We saved them. Rayan stood still. Who are you? The figure walked closer. We are the ones who remain. The keepers. When your species broke the stars, we collected what we could. You mean you stole us? Rayan said. The figure tilted its head. You would have vanished, like the others. You are now data. Safe. Rayan's heart pounded. This is a cage. The keeper didn't deny it. A cage is better than extinction. Rayan clenched his fists. That's not your choice. Suddenly, voices filled Rayan's mind. Real human voices, children laughing, a mother singing. A scientist explaining. Light theory, all real. All from the tanks. He heard his father's voice again. Rayan. Remember, the keeper watched him closely. You are different. You carry the key. The Arc Core. Rayan stepped back. You want it. We need it. Why? To complete the preservation. To finish what the Varkal failed to do. Rayan growled. No, it belongs to the living. The ground shook. More keepers appeared. A giant machine rose from the planet's center. Tower cannon powered by human minds. The keeper spoke calmly. You may return the Arc Core now. Or we take it. Rayan took a deep breath. Then he smiled. You want a memory? Here's one. He reached into his belt and activated Malik's emergency cube. The ship responded instantly. Energy surged. Rayan shouted, now! The fighter shot upward, slamming the gate shut. Cannons fired. Missiles launched. Rayan twisted the controls, flying through enemy webs, dodging lasers, boosting hard. The voice of the keeper returned. You cannot escape memory. Rayan shouted back, then I'll make a new one. Explosions rocked the zone. As Rayan reached the edge. The ship cracked. Hull damage. Power low. Then he crossed the line. Light returned. Stars returned. And the Phoenix signal came through. Rayan! We see you, locking on. Era's voice. You're alive. Rayan gasped. And I brought the truth. Back on Earth, he collapsed from the ship. Juno and Malik pulled him out. He held the emergency cube tightly. Inside it recorded everything. Human farms. The keepers. The source planet. He looked up. We weren't killed. We were harvested. Era stared at him. And now? Rayan stood, battered, bleeding, but burning with purpose. Now. We set them free. The truth had broken everything. Rey and sat in the Phoenix base, staring at the cube. Inside, it were images that would change the world, if the world was still watching. He saw tanks full of human minds. People, dreaming forever. He heard their voices in his sleep now, crying, laughing, waiting, and one voice louder than all. His father, Era Ning, stood near the console. I have analyzed the Keeper's signal, it said. Their source planet controls the Dream Link. It is powered by the minds they've stored. Rayan nodded. So if we destroy the source, they wake up. But also... Ara paused. If we fail, they die. Juno paced behind them, no pressure. Later that night, Malik joined Rayan on the roof of the base. The stars looked quiet, but Rayan knew better. They think they saved us, he said. Malik shook his head. They built a prison, a perfect one. No pain, no freedom. Rayan turned toward him. Would you live in a perfect lie? Or die in the truth? Malik smiled slightly. You already know my answer. Rayan nodded. Then we wake them up. No matter what. The next morning, the team gathered, this time not just a ship, a full strike squad, 5 recovered. Varkal fighters, 12 pilots, 2 drone ships. And 1 mission. Operation Wakefall. Before launch, Rayan recorded a message for those still asleep. If he failed, it would play across every dream link. He stared at the camera. My name is Rayan Raal. I am the son of Earth. You are not dead. You are not forgotten. You are the last voice of humanity. And I am coming to bring you home. The ships launched. Earth watched from below. Whoever was left. They rose past the broken clouds. Above the ash line, into the stars, and toward the K source. As they crossed into the Varkal zone again, everything turned black. Just like last time. No signals. No light, only silence. But this time they were ready. AR-9 had created a memory cloak. It shielded their thoughts. The keepers didn't see them dash yet. Inside the source planet, deep underground, a new figure stood beside the dream tanks. It wasn't a keeper. It was a human. Old, scarred, eyes like ice. He looked at the floating bodies. He smiled coldly. They still believe they're free. On board Rayan's ship, Era froze for a moment. It scanned again. New signal. Human DNA match detected inside the source. Rayan frowned. How? The image appeared. A man. Still alive. And Rayan recognized him. General Daxon Krell. One of Earth's top leaders. Presumed dead during week 2 of the war. Rayan's hands shook. He survived. And joined them? ARA's voice was quiet. He didn't just join them. He built this system. Flashback, 20 years ago. Krell saw Earth falling. He made a deal with the Varkal. Spare my mind. I'll give you a way to keep the rest. He created the Dream Link tech. He betrayed humanity to save its echo, not its freedom. Back in the present, the team reached orbit. The source glowed below like a dying star. Rayan gave the command. Drop now. The fighters dived. Lasers flew. Defense towers activated. The keepers woke. Their ships rose like black insects from the metal core. The air turned red with fire. Rayan weaved through debris. Juno blew a cannon open. Moloch dropped a memory bomb, shutting down 5 drones. Ares' voice rang out, reaching signal core in 90 seconds. Inside the source, Krell stared at the screens. He saw Rayan. He knew the name. Raal. He smiled. How poetic. The sun comes to burn the cage. Rayan's ship punched through the last barrier. He and Era landed at the core gate. Juno covered them from above. They ran into the tower. Inside, thousands of human minds floated in light pools. And in the center, the seed core, a machine built from both Earth and Varkal tech. Era looked at Rayan. This is the heart. Rayan stepped forward, but a voice stopped him. Well done, boy. Krell stepped out of the shadows. His body was still human, but part of his brain glowed with alien light. He looked like a man but felt like a ghost. Rayan stared. You did this. Krell nodded. I saved them. You would have let them burn. They're not alive. They're trapped. They're at peace. Rayan shook his head. Without choice, peace is just another prison. Krell raised a hand. Keepers entered. Give me the arc core, he said. Rayan pulled it from his belt, looked at it, then crushed it. Krell shouted. No! The core shattered, but Era had already uploaded its contents. The memory had spread. Rayan smiled. Too late. The tower shook. Above, Juno screamed through comms. We're losing ships. Fall back now. Malik yelled, drop the bomb, Rayan. But Rayan knew. If he dropped the memory disruptor, the sleeping minds might die. He only had seconds. He looked at Era. Can we trigger a soft reboot? Era scanned fast. Only by using your mind as a bridge. Rayan nodded. I'll do it. He ran to the console, connected the neural cord. Closed his eyes, and dove in. He stood inside a white space again, but this time it was full of people. Awe. Looking at him, men, women, children, soldiers, scientists. They were blurry, but real. A little girl stepped forward. Are we dreaming? Rayan knelt. Not anymore. He reached out and woke them. Outside, the lights across the source flickered. Tanks cracked one by one. The sleep-in began to rise back in their bodies. Eyes opening, minds waking. Screams filled the halls. Human screams, real ones. Krell saw his kingdom fall. He screamed and fired a shot. Rayan was still connected vulnerable. But Era took the bullet. Metal sparked. Go, it said. Rayan opened his eyes. The tower glowed with new light. He pressed the trigger. Boom. The disruptor exploded. A wave of energy raced across the source. Planet keepers vanished like dust. Dream machines shattered. And all across space human minds returned. The fighters escaped as the planet cracked. Rayan looked down one last time. And whispered, "Your time is over." Back on Earth, ships landed. Survivors climbed out. People who had been asleep for years. Mothers found children. Soldiers held their brothers. Scientists cried over sun and dirt. Rayan walked among them. No metal. No speech. Just silence. ARA-9 damaged, but alive, stood beside him. You gave them their voices. Rayan looked up at the stars. Now we teach them how to speak again. Weeks had passed since the source planet fell. The skies over Earth were clearer now. No enemy ships. No dark energy towers. Just light. But peace was a lie. Rayan walked through the Phoenix base, now full of returned humans. Doctors helped the weak. Families hugged in hallways. Laughter returned, but so did questions. Why us? Why were we put to sleep? Why were we left behind? And the hardest one of all, what now? ARA-9 stood at Rayan's side. Its metal frame patched but steady. You broke their cage, it said. But now they want a reason to fight. Rayan looked out a cracked window. Then we give them one. In the command room, Juno, Malik, and other leaders gathered. A new map showed the solar system, but there were marks far beyond Earth's. Moon, Varkal signatures, still active, still building. Era explained. The keepers were not alone. They were a program, a memory farm, but someone else gave the command. Malik leaned forward. You mean something bigger? Yes, the original Varkal network, still alive, still spreading. Rayan nodded. Then we stop playing defense. He pointed at the red zones. We go to them. This time we bring the war. The room fell silent. Then an old general, one of the mines, returned from the dream. Tanks stood. His name was Commander Elian Hart. He had once led Earth's orbital fleet, thought to be dead in week 3. Now he was back. I remember the stars, he said, and I remember how we lost. He looked at Rayan. You've lit the flame again, but flames burn fast. Are you ready to lead a fire? Rayan met his eyes. I don't want to lead. I want to finish what they started and rewrite how it ends. The plan was simple, but crazy. Step 1. Use the fallen source planet's wreckage to build new weapons. Step 2. Locate the Varkal master node, the origin point. Step 3. Strike hard, strike fast, and end the control network forever. Weeks passed. Under Rayan and ARA's direction, Phoenix became a full army. Ex-pilots returned to the skies. Engineers rebuilt crashed ships with Varkal tech. Children who had grown up in silence, now trained to fly. Earth was learning to fight again. One night, Rayan stood alone in the hangar. Juno walked up, holding a glowing disc. What's this? He asked. She smiled. A gift from your mother. Rayan took the disc and played it. His mother's voice filled the room. You gave us back time, Rayan, but don't forget to live in it. 2. He closed his eyes. The war had taken so much from them. Now it was time to take something back. Era soon located the master node's position hidden beyond Jupiter. Deep inside a red storm, surrounded by debris and black matter. It wasn't just a machine. It was alive. The mission was set. Operation Final Rewrite. 10 rebuilt fighters. 1 command ship. Era as the brain. Rayan as the Spark. Moloch loaded energy cores. Juno carried the Emi spears, and Rayan, for the first time, wore a proper suit black, marked with Earth's blue symbol, a phoenix rising. As the ship launched, Earth's people watched. No more hiding. No more silence. This was a fight to rewrite their future. The journey took days. As they neared the storm, strange signals hit the ship. Old radio waves, songs from the 1900s, news from lost satellites. Even a baby's first cry. Rayan realized the node was eating memory. Everything, every voice ever sent into space. Era explained. It is a collector, a god of thought. It does not destroy. It consumes. Rayan clenched his fists. Then let's give it something it can't swallow. Inside the storm, the sky turned blood red. Lightning the size of cities cracked across space, and then they saw it, a massive black orb, pulsing like a brain. It spoke through the ship's speakers in 1,000 voices at once. Humanity, you are obsolete. We are the new memory. Rayan stepped forward, and you are the last echo. He pressed the launch button. The battle began. The fighters swarmed. The node struck back with psychic attacks. Pilots screamed as old memories flashed through their minds. Loss, pain, fear. One nearly crashed from seeing her mother's death again. Rayan stayed focused. He remembered his purpose. Not revenge. Return. Era connected to the node directly. It screamed in rage. But Era, half machine and half Earth, fought back. I was born from your ruins, Era said. But I serve them now. Juno launched the EMP spear. It pierced the node's outer shell. Malik flew in close and dropped the memory. Bombed. The node cracked. Then it did something they didn't expect. It spoke in Rayan's voice. You will forget this moment, like the rest. Rayan whispered, no, we remember everything now. He dove toward the center. The same place the source once held minds. But this time, it was different. Empty. A trap. The node had learned from the source's fall. It had moved its true core to Earth's moon hidden inside old ruins. Too late. Rayan screamed into comes. Pull back. It's a shell. It's not here. The node's core activated remotely. It sent out a memory pulse stronger than any before. It hit Earth's orbit. One satellite blinked out. Then another. The people of Earth began forgetting again. Rayan made a choice. He turned the fighter around. Era, can you reach Earth's orbit through me? Yes, but you'll lose part of yourself. Rayan smiled. Then let them remember me. Era uploaded Rayan's full mind into the system, not to store it, but to fight back. From inside memory itself, Rayan's voice spread across Earth, not just as a sound, but as a feeling. Every child saw a light. Every elder heard a whisper. Every fighter felt a warmth. Hope. The node's pulse collapsed. Earth's memory held strong. The people resisted. Juno screamed, we're stabilizing. Moloch yelled, Rayan, we see your signal. You're everywhere. The node roared and tried to run, but Rayan's voice echoed louder. You tried to erase us, but now we are the story. Era delivered the final code. The node shattered. Black. Lightning cracked. And in silence, it died. Back on Earth, people looked to the sky. No more pulses. No more darkness. Just stars. And a message played on every screen. My name is Rayan Rao. I was just one voice. But one was enough. The war was over, but peace had not begun. Earth stood silent, alive, but scarred. The skies were no longer filled with keepers. The stars no longer whispered danger, but people still whispered the same question. Where is Rayan? Rayan Rao's mind had saved Earth. He had merged with memory itself. His voice now lived in satellites, consoles, and coms. He was the signal, the warning, the shield. But his body had never returned. Not a trace, not a sound, only the message he left behind one evening. A child stood on a cliff near the Phoenix base. She looked at the stars and said softly, Thank you, Flame Man. Her mother smiled. That's what they're calling him now. The one who lit the sky. Juno sat alone in the command room. The war map was gone, now replaced with a map of stars, uncharted, untouched, unspoiled. Malik joined her, placing 2 cups of heat shake down. He spoke first. So, we won. Juno didn't answer. He tried again. People are rebuilding, talking about launching colony ships. She finally spoke. And Rayan? Malik shook his head. He's everywhere. But nowhere. In the rebuilt archives, Era Nain worked non-stop. It had stored Rayan's final neural imprint. Not to copy him. Era was creating something more than a memory. A seed data program based on Rayan's emotions, thoughts, values. A living. Echo. Not artificial life. Human hope. One day, Era called a meeting. All remaining leaders, soldiers, scientists, and civilians gathered at the Phoenix Hall. Era floated into the center. I have completed Rayan's request. A screen lit up. It showed Earth, then the stars, then the words. Humanity is not meant to survive in cages. Era explained. Rayan had left a final plan. A flame protocol. Not for war. Not for revenge, but for expansion. Phase 1. Build flameships vessels. Powered by memory light. Untraceable to the Varkle. Phase 2. Create a network of memory. Beacons to warn other species under Keeper control. Phase 3. Train flame carriers. Humans who would carry knowledge, peace, and if needed. Fire. Malik stood. You mean, become the thing we feared? Era turned to him. No, become the thing that saved us. The next year passed in motion. Not destruction but creation. Flame ships took form, shaped like wings. Their cores carried pieces of Rayan's mind, his dreams. Not commands. Children learned navigation. Survivors became engineers. People who once woke up screaming, now woke up with purpose. Juno led the first training center, called the Nest. She taught the young not just how to fight, but why they fought at all. She told them stories of the first battle, the dream prison, the node, and of the boy who walked into memory to bring them back. In quiet moments, she still heard his voice, not in her ears but in her heart. Then came the launch day. Earth sky, once dark, now filled with 10 flame ships. Families watched from mountains and deserts. The whole planet stood together. Era spoke. Today is not the end of a war. Today is the beginning of our song. A new anthem played. It was soft, warm, and had no words, only hope. Each flame ship carried one memory core. Each captain had sworn the same oath, to seek the lost, to warn the asleep, to carry the flame. As the ships lifted, Earth shimmered below. Juno stood in her flight suit. Malik waved from another ship. Era stood beside her, quietly uploading coordinates. And then a sound came through every speaker. Static. Then a voice. Juno. She froze. She knew that voice. Rayan? The voice answered, only a piece, but yes. Her eyes filled with tears. He continued. I left so others could live. Now I ask only one thing. The voice cracked. Keep lighting the dark. Tears rolled down her cheek as she whispered, we will. The flame ships burst through the clouds. And Earth watched its children rise. Years later, stories were told on distant moons, of ships that arrived like fireflies, of people who came not with weapons, but songs. Of a signal that warned them, of a name whispered by the stars, Rayan the Flame. And back on Earth, the little girl on the cliff, now older, taught her daughter to look at the stars, and she always said the same thing. He didn't leave us. He became part of us. And in the quiet sky above, one satellite still blinked. Its signal simple. Clear. Endless. We are the flame. The end.